Scam is starting to break. Take a look at this. Silvergate Capital Corp in just the last 5 days has fallen massively, as we have seen a drop from around $13 in stock price all the way down to $7, and now all the way down to $5. A massive drop in the stock price. One of the #1 banks used for cryptocurrency on a global scale. Is this the end of the rope? Of course, crypto falling in part as a result of this, but what exactly does it mean long term? Are we in a position where we should be terrified of what's happening right now? We'll take a look at this. I'm gonna show you all the details right now, so make sure to subscribe with the notifications on to stay in the loop. Notifications is very important, that way I can keep you updated in real time as all of these important stories unfold. You're not gonna wanna miss the bull market, but you're also not gonna wanna miss the big negative stories either that can cause massive downfalls. Take a look at this. Coinbase, along with Paxos, along with Crypto.com, and even Circle, have now all decided to leave Silvergate in the dust, saying goodbye to Silvergate Bank. This article coming out also showing the Silvergate CEO said this: "We are not just a crypto bank, and we don't want anything else. We want that to come across loud and clear." He says, "We're not just a crypto bank. We're also a normal bank. You see, we do the normal bank stuff." That right there is really what's going to seal his fate. If Silvergate actually made a commitment to cryptocurrency and said, "We're going to stay strong with this. You helped us grow big in the first place. We're going to continue to help you back." Instead, they're trying to go away from crypto, and the result is all of these companies are now leaving them. And yes, it's a very big negative thing for cryptocurrency, but one of the main reasons this happened in the first place is because of this man right here. Sam Bankman-Fried was extremely tied to Silvergate. Both of them have similar families, and as you can see, and what I mean by that is they actually know each other, right? So the family connection is one of the reasons why this happened in the first place. But banks rely on customers' deposits, which plummeted as Silvergate's central client, FTX, went bankrupt, and crypto companies reckoned with the exacerbated bear market. At the time of FTX's collapse, about 90% of the bank's deposit base came from crypto companies. It immediately felt the effect, with the bank suffering outflows 8.1 billion in digital asset deposits in the fourth quarter of 2022 alone. By the end of December, its total deposits sat at only around 6 billion compared to a significantly higher number just a short time before that. So scary stuff there from Silvergate Capital. And of course, the good news here is, well, we have someone trying to buy them out, and it could actually lead to greater things. Take a look at this. Wells Fargo is now showing interest in potentially buying out Silvergate Bank if they need that to be done. The FDIC may actually step in here and take over. There's a number of different options. If they're unable to actually keep up with some of the investments, which is being rumored that's going to happen, they're not able to keep up with some of these payments, then they're going to have three options. Either they're going to be taken over by the government, the FDIC, they're going to have to sell to another company, or they're going to have to raise the funding in time. Of those options, the most likely one is that they would end up selling to another larger bank. And Wells Fargo, now the #1 candidate for that, they are expressing interest. If Wells Fargo, one of the biggest banks in the world, does buy Silvergate, then they immediately have crypto infrastructure automatically built within their wheelhouse at a pretty high level. And so if that happens, that could actually end up being a really positive thing for cryptocurrency. Because if we're going to have a bank anyway, playing a big role in crypto, you might as well have it be one of the largest ones. Wells Fargo, of course, some shady history, some bad stuff, but at the end of the day, most of that shady history is with individual employees and a couple bad policies that allow those employees to exploit the bank. But besides that, it is pretty obvious at this point that it would be much better to have Wells Fargo running things when it comes to Silvergate than it would be to have Silvergate itself running things with their own company, unfortunately. Belgian farmers, by the way, have had enough of this climate fraud, says Pelham resist. And Elon Musk responds, this is why I'm actually showing you this, because of Elon Musk's response: "I'm super pro-climate, but definitely we don't need to put farmers out of work to solve climate change. Not at all. I think that's a very important thing to remember." Now, of course, it's obviously extremely good to switch over to more sustainable forms of energy. We don't want to have a problem with pollution. We don't want to have a problem with any of the things that people complain about when it comes to the environment. We want there to be lots of fish in the environment. We don't want to have all the fish populations decreasing, a lot of them down like 90%. And that also can have an impact, because then there's less ocean life in terms of plants, and that takes up a huge amount of the carbon. So a lot of people don't really understand exactly what's happening here, and they think, oh, well, we can just ban everything. If you're electing politicians who ban stuff, that will never work. Now, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think there should be an extreme position on either side. You shouldn't say it's a fraud, but you also shouldn't say it needs to be met with massive bans. I mean, yes, there is some degree of importance to making sure the environment's clean. You don't want to have a situation where there's wildlife declining on a global scale that can cause pretty big impacts pretty fast. But at the same time, you also need to understand this, which is the comment I made. It's crazy to me that people think electing politicians who just ban things hurting businesses will solve anything. The only chance we have to actually save the climate is to let businesses thrive and innovation solve problems on a global scale. And I don't think there's anything more true than that sentiment. And of course, I said it, so I mean, maybe I'm a little biased. But at the end of the day, we all need to understand that that's extremely important. Let businesses thrive, lower tax environments, systems where businesses are less regulated and have the ability to actually produce some of these inventions that really do help on a global scale with the environment. And think about this. Here's the other important factor there. If you look at China, you look at India, they don't give an F. They don't care. The government's there, at least. I'm sure many people in those countries do, but the government's there. They don't care. They're not going to... A lot of people say, oh, if the US does it, the other countries will follow. No, they won't. Why do they care? What, they're going to give up their AC and heat? They're going to give up their cars? We're not even going to do it. Like, who's going to do that? And you need innovation. You need to actually have specific problems being solved in a way that's economically viable. Tesla's a perfect example of that, and it's even going further. Because Tesla right now, yes, you do have electricity. A lot of that Tesla charging is done with unrenewable forms of energy to make the electricity in the first place. So that kind of takes away the aspect of helpfulness. But slowly over time, more renewable sources will be implemented. Tesla solar panels are already a thing. Starlink internet will allow easier access to information in further places across the globe, so people can maybe spread out a little bit further and not have to be so concentrated in cities. So there are actual pieces of innovation that are helping here, many of them more efficient heating systems, more efficient cooling systems, more efficient ways of life overall, better foods that are plant-based. And even though those are a little bit, I mean, they're a little bit weird, right? We could use a different term, but they're a little bit weird. And but at the end of the day, if you can actually make food that tastes really good and is based on plants, well, all the cows and the pigs are doing are eating plants anyway, so why not, right? I mean, that's a pretty good thing. It doesn't mean you have to only eat that, but if you actually enjoy eating that, if these companies are able to make this food that tastes really good and is also good for you and has less of an impact, well, then why not, right? And so that type of innovation is exactly what we want to see, not banning farmers. Like, it's just the dumbest possible thing you can do. Not at all, says Elon Musk, and he's 100% right about that. That's why this is getting a lot of likes. And of course, our comment here got a lot of likes as well. My beautiful wife, Diana, says, put family farmers back in business and take big agriculture out of business. I happen to agree with that overall. Now, there is some degree of truth to the fact that you don't want to have too much spread out, because then it can decrease efficiency, but also, if you have smaller farmers, but that are still big enough to have enough efficiency to actually be functioning at a good level, and you also combine that with the fact that they probably are going to be doing more sustainable things, healthier types of food, for example, then you have a recipe for success, and you can put out some of these agricultural conglomerates. You can put some of them out of power, at the very least, which is definitely a good thing to see. Matt, no matter what, there's always a price to pay, says JJOMNT. Yes, there is, and that's what a lot of people unfortunately don't understand, because sometimes that price is significantly higher than the reward that you receive in exchange for paying that cost. Some farmers aren't liberal enough, says John Hawkins, so the left doesn't care if they destroy their lives as part of some pie-in-the-sky climate plan that won't accomplish anything. So some people getting political here, I don't think that, I personally don't like it when people get political in regards to stuff like this, because then it makes people emotional. If you're on one side, you have to hate the environment, apparently, according to the... I mean, that's not even really true anymore. It used to be kind of like, oh yeah, the fringe this, and you hate the environment, you love the environment. That's not really true anymore. At this point, most people on both sides actively enjoy helping the environment and loving the environment. Who doesn't like nature, right? But there is still some degree of truth to the fact that it is political. It's not done yet, because politicians still are using this to get elected. They're still using this to try to put policies in place that actually hurt more than help. And so that's where it starts to get frustrating, because if it wasn't political, then we'd be significantly better off. This is okay for the environment, but this isn't. Are you awake yet? Says Natalie F. So some interesting comments underneath here today. Ethereum Classic ETC is going to be the next crypto to go over $1,000, says Joe Blow. What makes you believe that, Joe? What's the price of ETC Classic right now? Isn't it in the teens? Let me give a little check-see here. ETC Classic. There it is. CoinMarketCap. Yeah, wow, look at that. I called it being in the teens by 1 cent. See, if it had been 1 cent higher, literally, I would have gotten my prediction wrong here, and it completely and totally embarrassed myself on the live stream. I got it right by an exact percentage point. If I had even probably shown this stat earlier in this exact live stream, I probably would have been wrong. But no, I am correct. It is in the teens. Ha! Take that. Well, it's like the lucky. This is about as lucky as whenever I step on the scale and it says 169, which is I think it's only happened once. But it's beautiful. Whenever it's just like the clouds part, you see 169 on the scale exactly, not 169.1. Not 168.7, 169 exactly. It's just one of the most beautiful feelings. And then this, no, you didn't see that. No, well, okay, you didn't see that. Just pretend that didn't happen. No, it's 1999. What? It didn't go up to 20. That didn't just happen. Don't close your eyes. Look away. I don't know what you're talking about. Dogecoin, by the way, getting a lot of staking increase. I made a video showing how to stake. I'm going to be actually featuring that in my live stream shortly. Not today, but I will be doing that and show you actually how you can move some of your Dogecoin off of exchanges. A lot of people ask me how to do that. Well, this is a great way to do it because you can actually get wrapped Dogecoin, which then you can use to invest in other projects. And you can also, on Dogecoin, by the way, using Dogecoin as gas, you can use it to invest in other projects. And also you can use it to stake and actually make money long term. It's pretty cool how that works. And so I have a full video explaining exactly how to do this. Easier than you may think. If you're already savvy, you can just go to bridge.dogetrain.dog and do it yourself. If not, then just wait for the video and I'll show you exactly how in that video. I've already made it. I'm just going to have to stream it here on the show. Anyway, I'm Matt Wallace. This is Fast Stand, and I'll see you in the next video.